All right, here we go again. Let's see if we have sound right now. Okay, I think we do. I'm pretty sure. So it's last night we had a coaching call and I used my mic to get a little bit better sound quality. And so um and I put it away last night and then I forgot to change the sound source. So hopefully this time you guys can hear me. If you're coming on the call, can you please let me know that you can hear me? Because that is super helpful. And I appreciate those of you on my last attempt who told me they couldn't hear me. Okay. So, um, okay, awesome. Thank you. Yay. Thank you, Melissa. Um, so I want to talk a little bit about calls today, what we use calls for really briefly, and then um, how you can minimize people not showing up. So in bookkeeping, like a lot of freelance businesses, we use discovery calls to get to know people better. Okay. And so a lot of people think like a discovery call is a sales call. I really use discovery calls to interview potential clients because I have to make sure that I want to work with the client. So what we do in bookkeeper training school is I teach that you hey, Carlotta, good morning. What I do is I send out a questionnaire beforehand so I can get all of the pertinent information that I need. So that way I'm not like grilling the person on the call. I would much rather talk about why they need a bookkeeper, how they think a bookkeeper is going to serve them. Do they have previous experience working with a bookkeeper? Because what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to figure out if I think this person is a good fit for me. Whenever I'm on a call, that's what I'm trying to determine. It's like, is this somebody that I think I want to work with? And so in bookkeeper training school, there is a bonus called Mastering the Discovery Call. If you are in bookkeeper training school and you haven't watched this yet, go check out that bonus because it's going to help you set up your questionnaire and it's going to give you a script for what to say on those discovery calls. But now, what do you do if somebody doesn't show up? Well, first, what I try to do is I try to minimize the likelihood that they're not going to show up. And so I use booking software to allow people to book their calls, and then it's actually going to send out reminders. So it sends out email reminders. A lot of them can send out text reminders. So there's a free version of Calendly that you can use, which is what a lot of our bookkeepers start out with. I use something that's called Book Like a Boss because Book Like a Boss is a little bit more powerful. I got a really good deal on it when the company first started. It sends out texts, it sends out emails, it lets people rebook. It has a lot of really powerful calendar features. So if I only want to have discovery calls at a certain time, I can kind of set a schedule just for that. It integrates really well with all my calendars because I have multiple calendars that I'm managing. And so I really like it. It does a lot, but like sending out those automatic reminders, and I would recommend that you send out, and I know some of you are going to think this is kind of overkill, but I send one out the night before the call or 24 hours before the call. I send one out an hour before the call, and then I send one out like 15 minutes before the call because I just want the person to, first of all, easily have the link because I do all mine via Zoom. And so I want the link to be like right there for them. So it's easy for them to access. And I find those reminders really help. So what if you send out all your reminders and the person doesn't show? I think a lot of times the first thing that we think is, oh my God, like I'm being ghosted. Right. And initially that was what I thought. Now my first thought is, oh my God, I hope the person's okay. I hope they're okay. I hope their family's okay. Because like yesterday, so for example, like yesterday, I had 3 calls booked. Um, two of them canceled. One canceled ahead of time, okay, because she had COVID. And the other one didn't contact me until after the call. And she didn't have internet because they had a snowstorm where she lived. And so I think, sometimes we think like the entire world revolves around us and our discovery calls. And we kind of forget that, especially right now with COVID and the weather's been really crazy all over the country, and there's been wildfires and storms. We sometimes forget that people have other things that happen in their lives that might make them forget that they have a call with us. And so I try to give people the benefit of the doubt and say, okay, you know what? Like something probably happened. So don't jump to, oh my God, the person ghosted me. Oh my God, what's wrong with me? Oh my God. Like don't jump there. Okay. So what I typically do, so first of all, I always have like little admin tasks, little, office tasks, things like that I need to get done that I will use when I'm waiting for those calls to either start or, for the person to show up. And so yesterday, I had a call. It was early. It was like the first call, I think was 8 a.m. And I was scheduling text messages for Bookkeeper Training School or for Empower Bookkeeper Network while I was waiting for my first call to show up. So I'm like, okay, this would be a good time. And like, if I get stopped in the middle, it's not that big of a deal. I can just continue where I left off. And so I was scheduling text messages. So typically what I'll do is about if the after about like 2 or 3 minutes, I will actually send the person either an email or a text message and just say, hey, I just want to make sure you have the link, because that's something that causes people to be late very often, is that they can't find the link to the Zoom. And so I will text them or email and just say, hey, I just want to make sure you've got the link. If you're unable to make it today, please let me know. And then if they don't show up, I keep working on my little task, and I'll typically work on my little task until like the call is up, because it's something I've got to get done anyways, right? And so I find that we get less upset if we have something to fill that time if the person doesn't show. So that is super helpful for me. And so I got all my text done, and then at the end of the call, I email again if they don't show, and just say, hey, I hope that everything's okay. I hope that you and your family are well. If you'd like to, reschedule, here's the link. And I'll usually give people one more opportunity. If they miss the second call, then I don't offer to allow them to rebook. I'll just write back and say, hey, I hope everything's okay. I hope you and your family are right. I missed you not connecting with you today, and then send that. Okay. So, but I think giving people lots and lots of grace, especially like I work with a lot of moms, right? And so how many of you have had sick kids, have had, kids couldn't go to school, kids get hurt, kids just being kids, right? I mean, there have been times that I've like completely forgotten what time it was. Because Eric was having a meltdown, Eric was sick, Eric was hungry. Like, you guys know, like if you've got kids, And so I try to give people some grace. I just think that's really incredibly important. And so, I'd love to know, for those of you that are watching live or watching the replay, like, have you ever missed an appointment with somebody, because of, kids, whatever that is. I'd love to know, what your kind of craziest story was, or, the one that you're kind of like, I can't believe I missed the call because of this. I'd love to know that, because I think it's really good for us to understand as service providers and as freelancers, like that people miss stuff and it happens, and it's gonna happen. But putting those reminders in place, the structure, having something to do during that call, like little admin tasks that are really easy to jump away from, and then just having super grace for people, especially right now. And if you're just jumping on the call now and you missed the beginning, wait a couple minutes and go back and watch, because I think there's some really good tips in here for you to help you be way more successful in your discovery calls. All right. I hope you have an awesome day. Take care, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.